way I look at it is I like stories, whether they're films, books, or games, and the success of your classic stories, whether it's Gone with the Wind or Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever it might be, is it's linear. You know, point A and point B, no deviation. You know, there might be a little side story with another character if the director's looking for an Oscar or something, but otherwise you just go from here to here. And for a linear type game, you know, traditional game if you like, you go through these levels to rescue the princess or whatever it might be. That follows that mode and they can be watchable. But I think I'd say with the open world thing, unless it's visually exciting, like Assassin's Creed, but then it becomes a struggle to watch. You're watching perhaps achievements, but they're not watching the story achievements. That's just my view on it. Yeah. And I think watching board members at the classification board over 7 years who are not gamers, and who might in the back of their heads, I don't know, say think games are evil, then they hate watching games because they don't get the story. They can't see the story. And usually they don't see the whole story, it's just bad bits. It makes it difficult. So I don't know, it's part of my feeling that games shouldn't try and be what films and books are. They can drag from them good things that work, and that's fine.
Your attention please, Tony Flynn. Tony Flynn, please come to the level 3 admissions desk. Brody and Eva are waiting for you.
Yeah,
that's Tony Flynn to the level 3 admissions
actually,
desk.
I should Tony.
That's interesting. It's, I guess that might skew your view of games if all you saw were the bad bits for
out of
some years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. And a lot of people in our society, that's all they see is the bad bits. They see a story, some kid in England killed someone, and he plays Manhunt. No, he didn't. The guy who killed played Manhunt. But the story says it, so it's in people's minds. It's a bad game. People see their kids playing. They walk into the room when the kids are hosing down a bunch of bad guys with a machine gun. Well, that's all there is in the game. And it's the perceptions. You watch a Tarantino movie, if you watch Kill Bill 1, all it is about is cutting people in half with swords if you watch a particular scene. Yeah. That's all Tarantino is for. Yeah. So, which it is, but it's how we perceive things. It's because we're becoming junkies to the sound bite and the information bite.
And I mean, part of that, do you think, is about, as you say, when it's out of context, one of the best things about games is how well they can bring you into a world of, self-referential, sort of satirical kind of takes on the way you do these things. Like, Grand Theft Auto is just, sort of deeply taking the piss out of what it's actually delivering. Pretty much as Tarantino sort of does with it. So, I think, the Grindhouse kind of movies of his were probably a good example where, they were kind of dumb if you just watched them sitting there on a DVD by yourself. Go to a cinema and watch it with 100 other people having a laugh. It's about the way you play these things or the way you experience them.
I have to agree with that. I'm sorry to jump in again, guys, but I think it's about how you experience it and how you open your mind to it, and that's about any life experience. I think that's why games don't need to be different. Things have changed and evolved since the 80s in our society, and in what we do, and what our leisure time is wrapped with. Games have changed. It's just it's how you perceive it. Don't be looking at things serious all the time. I've got plenty of my peers with kids who are as old as mine or younger. Let the kids watch all sorts of stuff on television, but won't let them watch The Simpsons. And I mean, Simpsons is just, to use your phrase, taking the piss out of everything, and particularly themselves, Americans themselves. And people can't see that. Something's been around for 21 years now. And I think we need to open our mind. This is for every aspect. Open your mind up to other points of view.
Well, one last sort of angle before we then do some Q&A is, to tie in with sort of the Game Jam stuff going on, is some of the indie stuff that we're seeing perhaps a good way to reintroduce, broader perspectives into games, because sometimes simplistic graphics again with excellent ideas of playing games.
Tony Flynn report to the level 3 admissions desk. Brody and Eva are waiting for you. That's Tony Flynn to the level 3 admissions desk. Thank you.
Come on, Tom.
Killing us.
Do you think that, basic visuals with clever gameplay ideas in some ways makes it more approachable when they're playing with new technologies.
I think a lot of people might not have the patience for the really simple graphics. I mean, if it has the polish of something like Braid or World of Goo, I think those games absolutely bring people into the fold and give them a new way of thinking about games. But other than that, I think the Wii's done a great job with that. But something like, I don't know, like something that probably would be made upstairs in the game jam, I wouldn't introduce someone to gaming through that.
And something that I played recently that really sort of struck me, but you're right, someone might not choose it on WiiWare if they didn't know that it was good. Bit Trip, trying to remember Beats, the first Bit Trip game, I can't remember what the Bit Trip, does anyone know Bit Trip? Something? Anyway, check it out. Because there's a series of the Bit Trip games. Where you're just kind of, basically it's like Pong style, but you're making the music as the sort of seeds come flying across the screen, it's a stunning game because at first it's just like a really, really basic single player Pong type game, but then you start to realise that that you're creating beats because as the dots come across the screen and you hit them, and then they speed up, then they start kind of coming in waves, then they bounce back on you after you've hit, and suddenly it's a really hard game, but you're creating this amazing kind of musical scenario all by just tilting your Wiimote up and down. It's absolutely brilliant game. And I've found that other people just walk in and get mesmerised by it when they suddenly realise exactly how in tune the visual is with the audio and all. It's a really amazing little game, but super, super basic.
Shane, it seems pretty excited.
Do you think it requires patience? Like, would you have to, I mean, when you introduce someone to gaming, you always have that moment where they kind of throw their hands in the air and there's patience, but do you have to kind of tell them?
Well, it's nothing but tilting, so in that sense, it's very easy to, it's like, Canabalt is probably another game that's, on iPhone or you play it on the web, Canabalt, and it's just, you just tap. If you're playing it on an iPhone or something like that, or if you're playing it on the web, it's just single sort of, you just hit the space bar to jump. The only thing you do is jump, but there's this dude who's just running across rooftops, and it's just see how many meters you can get before he falls off a roof or sort of crashes into something.
But I think the iPhone's actually a really good example of a development platform where you're getting lots of very simple creative ideas that are very, very easy to explain to someone. I mean, Flight Control's a game that they've sold millions of copies of. They've made an immense amount of money out of something that involves drawing squiggly lines on it. I can show that to someone and in 5 seconds they get it. And 3 hours later they might give me my iPhone back. On flat.
I was actually shocked. My 3-year-old has actually, and I didn't really, I did one time, I showed him how to land a plane. And after just sitting there and watching them crash for a while, and he thought that was pretty hilarious and cool. Then I kind of came back a little while and I saw he had started working out. Oh, okay, so I just have to do this. And that's pretty cool for a 3-year-old to work that out after a little while.
I think if you said sort of thing on the web, the one button or the iPhone platform, that it's a great move to get non-gamers into gaming because those couple of things next to you on the couch there, you look at the controller from the 80s, it's got 1 or 2 buttons. There's on the front.
Atari had 1 button.
And a stick.
Yep.
Now, you look at the Xbox 360 controller, you show that to someone who's not a gamer, and they just walk away. I'm going to have a beer and watch the tennis instead. And that's fair enough.
Even if you told them you only have to hit the green one.
Even if you told them. And I think it's about anything. I mean, if you go and say, right, here's a new card game I'm going to play, and you go to look at it, if you see them glaze over, could you just play poker? I know how to play poker. It's all those things.
That's a good analogy, actually.
Kids are happy to have all the buttons as you develop it. So the generation coming through now, and the one before right back to mine, we were okay with it. But it's those who haven't grown up with it, remote control for television. That they want to get into it. They can bring in the iPhone, where you just move around or press a button, whatever. Great, it brings them to it.